Let's everybody get inside so we can get started, please. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the session back to order. Do we have our microphones anywhere? Oh. Patrick, will you give one to Ron Tresley? I asked Ron to start us off with a little prayer this morning. Everybody stand, please.
Would you pray with me in your own way? God, Heavenly Father, we're so thankful to be here today to deliberate and to do the business of IGRA Commission. So I ask that you bless us, that you keep us safe, guide us in our deliberations, and help us to be kind to one another throughout the day and throughout the evening, throughout our lives. Just continue to be kind and respect each other. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ron. Christopher?
Candy, we need to do roll call.
Oh, just hang on one second. This will just take a second. It's a kind of a non-IGRA business. How's that?
Oh, okay.
Mr. Valdez, could you stand, please?
Oh.
Everyone, this young man just turned 50. And I brought up a great singer for you. Oh, all right. Everybody join in, and Christopher's going to lead in the happy birthday for Rick.
And even though he's 50, it's not a funeral dirge. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rich. Happy birthday to you.
Did that help with him trying to act like no one's going to know? There you go. Yeah,
Oh.
Yes, I know he's one of the young ones. Did you get your ARP card? Yep. Yeah. Okay. So did everyone, we're going to move back to the approval of last year's convention minutes. Did everybody get a copy of the update that included the archives? Let's see if you can bring that up. Oh, sorry. I did it again. Sorry, y'all.
Arizona 6. Astra 2. Canada 4. Colorado 6. Diamond State 5. 6. Yep. Okay. Oklahoma 3. GSGRA 6. Ilger 1. Missouri 5. Migra 1. Nevada 6. New Mexico 6. North Star 5. Red River 5. TGRA 6. Utah 5. We stayed the same as yesterday.
Okay. I hope everybody enjoyed the Hall of Fame reception last night. That was incredible. Okay, now we will go back to the, did you bring up, yep, the approval of the previous convention minutes. So did everybody get the updated version or see the updated version? You bet. Number 13. Oh, okay.
That's better.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Okay, minutes approved. Are you ready for this? I think you should have done it as grandma, though.
I know.
Okay, so, yeah. Or his razor. Okay, Mipsy's going to do the women's outreach.
Good morning, everyone. Andy, I'm going to move this for a minute. Just lost my foot. So on Friday, I had to go think. Hold on, I just lost my. Come on. Okay, excuse me once again. On Friday morning, we met at 10:30, and our meeting ran until 11:30. Alina sent me her report for this year, and I'll read it. It says, our last meeting was just prior to the third quarter meeting. At that time, the nominations for the first Women Outreach Mentor Award was handed over to the Board of Directors. We are still needing member associations appointed representatives in each associations according to the bylaws to assume each association, to ensure each association can nominate and have some representation. Women of the rodeo pictures have been taken and posted with the exception of Best Buck of the Bay. This committee has seen better involvement and more interest since starting the mentorship award last year, and it is great to see many stepping up to support one another this year. Respectfully submitted, Erica Holter. Our meeting that we held, I think was one of the best outreach women I've ever been to. There was so much energy in that room and so much enthusiasm. Great ideas came out of it. One of the things that they're looking to do is they're actually looking to create a calendar, and it kind of got a little hairy there for a moment because we were talking about cupcakes and positioning them certain ways. But we really want to emphasize, or the group would really like to emphasize, women of rodeo in regards to what they do. So if it's a shoot coordinator, if it's contestants, if it's a royalty team member, if it's somebody that's transgender, we want to kind of get those photos out in a calendar form. So hopefully that folks can identify. Someone can look at the calendar and go, oh, I can identify, and this is some organization that I would really like to belong to. This is something that I think I could be a part of. I think it's a great idea. They are going to work on it. They also put together the criteria for what they felt was appropriate to award this award to. And as you can see, it's up on the screen, and I think they came up with some good criteria. Who's making fun of my words? And then the other thing that they wanted to do, which I think is, we hand awards out. We always give plaques. We always give all sorts of accolades and stuff. But they came with the idea of making a patch that actually can be put on the shirt. So when the individual is walking around that has received this award, it's something that someone can come up and say, hey, what does that mean? So it's just a little more getting the program out and about. We had a discussion about also getting out and talking to other groups and organizations within the community in regards to, don't go on a Saturday night, don't go on a Friday night. Those are the busiest nights. No one's going to listen to you. Go on a Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday. There only may be 5 or 6 people in that bar, but you've got a captive audience, and it's easier to talk to five or six people, or being in a noisy bar, people aren't listening. So they've come up with some really good ideas. Another one is the committee, whoever is on the committee, after each rodeo, it doesn't mean that they're all going to be there, but whomever from that committee is at the rodeo are going to decide at that rodeo who actually seemed to have stepped up above and beyond at that rodeo in women's outreach. That list is going to get compiled throughout the whole year, and that's how they're going to form on who is going to get nominated for the award. And that is our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mipsy. Was there any questions? Oh, number 13.
Mitzi, do we have a new chairperson for next year? Has that person been
That's for
nominated?
the president to decide.
Okay.
You bet. Number 4. Number 4. Ron, hang on. She's bringing you one, Ron.
I just have a question for the committee about the award, that if I'm reading, when you say 2 awards, but the standing rules right now already say 1 mentorship award, so you need to change the standing rules to do that.
It's not a clear definition that we are doing. That's what we would like to do. We have not come to that decision when the committee, because the committee is not formed. The committee that they really want is not formed yet. So once that committee gets formed, that's when they'll, and we'll put it through for next year as a change.
Any other discussion or questions? Perfect. Frank Mazza wanted me to ask if anyone else, the 2 positions that'll be voted on this year are the vice presidency and the secretary position. So it'll be open up to nominating, but he just want to make sure if anybody else was interested, please let him know. Okay. I guess. Benjamin? Was there any other old business besides John Beck that I missed? It'll be a new business. Jeffrey, do you now have a report? Well, since it's in demand. Let me see if I can find a good one here. Why can't you trust an atom? They got it. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. You asked for bad jokes, just that. Remember that. Because the jokes I got told this morning, we can't do them on camera. Well, while we're waiting, Frank, do you want to go ahead and get started? Or how much time do you need? Nope. Oh, you are? Did you find it? We'll go ahead and do the university, Frank, and then we'll go to nominating. Is that okay? Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. The report is just the report. It's not all that big great shakes. If you haven't had a chance to do the survey link that is in the university folder that's already there, please do take a chance today to do that because it's helpful information. I did get a few responses, and thank you to all of you for doing that. The university committee did meet yesterday, or Friday, and we had a very small but mighty group. The group talked about a lot of different things. We talked about the fact that IGRA is changing exponentially over the last couple of years. We talked about the RMIS system coming in. We talked about the fact that organizations are changing over very quickly. We have organizations that were seated in our room with us only 2 short years ago, and they're not here today. We talked about the fact that there's a lot of new people that this is their first convention, and they're learning feet to fire on how this all works, how to interact with us. We know that there's a lot of discussion with rodeos and how much people are trying to learn in the certification programs. But what is everybody else wanting to learn? One of the challenges that we've had with university over the last several years is the fact that every time we do university, everybody wants 101 level courses. Everybody wants to know the very basics. The problem is that we have such a dichotomy between people who are brand new and people who have been here greater than 5 years who think they know a lot, and they do, but the courses that we're offering don't intrigue them. They don't inspire them. So university is going to need to make some changes as well. University was a really big event, like convention, that we came together and we went into classrooms and we tried to make certification programs out of it when it was first implemented, and it was a great thing. But once everybody went through the courses and got all their credits, they were done with it, and it was no longer meaningful to them. How do we keep a fire under what we're doing to learn, knowing that change is the constant, knowing that our organization is right now going through a heap of changes in all areas, in all aspects. You guys have been talking about rules and which rules are no longer needed, but which rules need to be enhanced and need to be created to prepare for the future. That's what university needs to be for this organization. And what we have today is truly a lack of focus, because every time we try to put together the basic levels to start everybody off, those who have been around for a while aren't interested. And it's those that are around a while that we need the newbies to be spending time with. It's more important that you share your knowledge with those around you than it is for IGRA to have an organization that's supposed to train you to do it. You guys know what to do. You guys are trained to do that because you've already done it. What we need to do is pass that on. So the committee met yesterday, or Friday. We talked about these issues. We talked about what would be the best way to move forward because unfortunately, due to a lot of circumstances, there will be no 2020 university in January. We didn't get our location set up. And I take responsibility for that as the chair of the committee. But going forward, how do we make this work? Do we do it in small regions? Come into an association and do a small onesie-twosie thing? Do we get involved with rodeo schools and try and make those happen and be a part of that so that we can start that learning trend through all the associations? So I implore you that I still believe that university is a huge part of what we can be going forward. And I think university has a place in IGRA. And I think university can help us evolve into the great organization that we all know it to be and be even better. And we will help. We will help with the new electronic systems. We will help with, if you need help with being a rodeo director, if you need help learning how to run meetings, if you need help just figuring out how to market your own association in your own community, university will be here to help you. But we need to now begin to share the information. And if you are someone who's been around for a while, well, we understand you can't always do it the way you've always done it because times have changed. We can help you evolve that change. So university does need some direction, which is why we put out the survey. University has asked you for some interest. We understand, and by the way, the surveys that I got, of the ones that I got, 80% of them told me they're not interested. 80% of them told me that university was no longer intriguing to them. Not that I didn't understand that. I knew that. But it's easier for us to be able to figure out who we need to be for you if we get the responses from you so that we can use that data and empirically come together and figure out, okay, how can we best be part of IGRA? And that's my report for you.
Thank you. Any questions? Number 14.
Good morning, Amy Griffin Ilgra. I'm wondering if the responses to the survey, if it may be more viable for university to be rolled into or folded into convention with offerings on Thursdays, session Thursdays. It would reduce expenses and it would eliminate the additional cost for an extra trip for the participants, because it's time, it's travel money. Is that something that you consider?
It's something that we discussed Friday and definitely am considering. The one thing that that helps, and you're right, is to piggyback on everybody had to come here anyway. The only challenge that I have is that Thursday is such an intense day for a large portion of the body. Nobody can wear two hats. And so if some of the teaching talent is tied up in the trustee meetings or in some of the other activities, then we lose some of our resources, and I don't want them to be stressed doing both. But it is on the list of things to consider. We've also talked about possibly having a class on the Fridays of certain rodeos so that people coming to those rodeos can participate and it would be more regional.
Any other questions? Table 4.
Shannon from the APRA. We thought about online, because with the younger generation, I mean, we always been about getting the younger generation involved and interested. They don't necessarily need everything to be in person for them.
I'm 100% for that. 2017 to 18, I did nothing but try to take all of the 101 classes. What is shoot dogging? What is steer riding? What is, and make little snippet video somethings. The challenge becomes, where do you house all that data? And with all the rule changes that come up, how do you know which one to go in and fix? And if they're longer than 2 minutes and they're not easily replaceable, how do you pull one thing that's no longer a valid rule out of it? So it became quite overwhelming, and I worked for about 7 months looking for some kind of a software or online website program, but then we also have to figure out how that's going to branch into IGRA's, how do we put it, links on the IGRA site and make sure that we own the content and that the content's usable. So a lot of different things that go into that, and thank you, it's a very, very good idea, and that is where I think we should go, is that the base level needs to be stuff that people can pre-learn on their own, self-taught, and then the higher functions is maybe what we need to get to.
Number 8.
Instead of doing work video, could you do live classes, similar to what we're asked to do today?
That is the other topic that we brought up in the meeting, and that is actually one of the areas that we need to explore and move towards. Thank you.
Number 11.
Hi, I'm John Lowe. Some of you remember me from a long time ago when I first joined the IGRA, DSRA. One of the things that we were planning to do in the next couple months is heavy-duty membership renewal. People have been out for many, many years and haven't renewed, and we were going to use a university as one of the keys to bring a university in February or in March to Little Rock to put on a university. Is that something that you're willing to do?
If we can work with a team on the ground, I'd be more than willing to do that, and I would offer myself to any association that if you've scheduled a day in your state that you'd like me to come out and spend some time, do some training. I'm not certified in absolutely everything, but I have a general knowledge of many things and can help guide you or bring in some teaching talent that would work, and I'm sure on a one-on-one invitation we could do some great things on single events.
Any other questions? Thank you, Jeffrey. Frank, you ready?
Good morning. The nominating committee met on Friday, called the meeting to order at 1:08. The committee chair, Frank Mazo, called the meeting to order. A total of 4 people were present, all voting delegates. The chair would like to thank the committee for their participation, and a list of attendees is attached. After introductions were made, the chair announced the nominations received to date for the 2 offices up for election this year. Vice President, the only nomination we have is Michael Butts, aka Mipsy Michaels, the current interim Vice President. For Secretary, we had 2 nominations as of Friday. Chris Fairbrother, aka Christy Michaels, and Michael Norman, the current interim Secretary. Now, as of this morning, Chris did withdraw her nomination, and at the end of my report, there's another change that I'll bring up. The chair then asked for additional nominations, and none were presented at the meeting. Discussion took place regarding officers who were appointed to fill the vacated positions. A clarification was made regarding the term of office of an interim if an interim officer is elected. The term of office is 2 years, regardless of the length of time that an interim position was held. The chair reminded everybody about the voting requirements for the bylaws. A 2/3 majority vote is needed to pass bylaws, rodeo rules, and standing rules. A simple majority vote is required to elect officers and to pass any other matters before the convention. The chair then explained the election process. Assistance will be needed to help with preparing, distributing, and collecting the ballots. Non-voting volunteers will be needed to help with the voting process. Roger Kudamonsh graciously volunteered to be my assistant on that, but I'll need other people to help with the distribution to make it go faster. Only the voting delegates of record will receive a ballot, and all the voting delegates must be sitting at their association's table to cast the ballot. The only exceptions would be the executive board sitting at the front of the room, and anyone else who may be away from their association's table in order to fulfill convention-related duties. I don't think we have anybody like that this year. And before voting takes place, we'll do a final call for any additional nominations. Nominations will then be closed and ballots prepared. The secretary will do a roll call to establish the exact number of votes to be cast, and separate ballots will be cast for each office or issue to be voted on. If there are any bids for 2020 or 2021 convention to be voted on, the ballots will need to be prepared and distributed. My fingers aren't working this morning. Just so everyone knows, last year we did make a bylaw change that passed, and it simplified the election process a little bit for when there was only one option or one person to be considered for a vote. The requirement for a written ballot was removed from the bylaws, so now if there is only one, we can vote by acclamation. The chair then asked the committee members to update their delegations on the information discussed during the meeting. The meeting was adjourned at 1:20. Now, the last change that just happened this morning, like I mentioned, Chris withdrew, but then I did get another nomination for secretary, and that is Jean Frakes. Respectfully submitted.
Yeah, do that. Okay. That's what I thought. I need a motion. I need a motion to do the vice president's position by acclamation. Okay. Jeffrey, Neil, and Randy Edlin. Any discussion on that? Huh? It's just, there's only one, it's just Mipsy. Okay. Oh, I thought he did.
I just did. That was part of mine.
I apologize, I thought he did. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay. We already peached him. That was just for the acclamation. Okay, so all those in favor of the man of many names to be your to continue to be your vice president, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? You're mine. Wait.
I had my speech ready. Yeah.
I use that verbiage of duties as assigned quite a bit with MIPSI. Yep. Frank, are we, hang on. Are we doing the next one now? Are we letting the two people speak, or what are we doing? Yeah, no, we might as well because we're... Okay. All right, we'll do it. They've already... Okay, we'll do it later. So that didn't make sense. Why did we do the one if we did the other one? I was confused since we did the one. Okay, we're gonna move forward with, are you okay, or did you need to? We're just. All right. Where did Jean go? Oh, Jean, would you? That sounded like a brother answering a sister. Or a husband and wife. Would you like a few moments to speak to the delegation? Okay.
For those of you who are here and you do not know me, my name is Gene Frakes, and I am really glad you're here. For those of you who do know me, I want to try to change your mind. Actually, I started with IGRA in 1998 with Texas Gay Rodeo Association. In that association, I believe I held almost every chair position that they offered at some point during that time. I was the trustee for 2 terms, 6 years with them. At that time, then, I became the IGRA vice president, and I served a very successful term there. So being on the executive board is not a new position for me, being with associations where I came from, and IGRA also. Do I have experience as a secretary? Yes, just not within IGRA. I have all the skills of a secretary through work positions, administrative assistant positions, things such as that. I do believe that I can do a very good job at this position because I had a boss once tell me that if you give me a task, I'm like a dog on a bone. And that's really where I go with it. I need things to be complete. I need them to be timely and accurate. That's a huge thing for me. Maybe a surprise for some of you that I accepted a nomination for this position. But I'm really excited and would love to have your vote to get back on the executive board and help IGRA do the chores that need to be done within our organization, because that's what this position does. It's a workhorse, and I know it. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jean. Michael?
Good morning. Most of you know me. I've been around over 20 years, involved in IGRA. Been working with lots of associations over the years. In the past year and a half, I've been your IGRA secretary. Continuing on from Ron Trusley. Huge boots to fill. I actually have some new proposals that we'll see in new business to help us with convention around our bylaws and standing rules and rodeo rule proposals. We've had some ambiguity as to when proposals had to be to the associations, and so we're going to make that a little more straightforward. I've also compiled a lengthy list of standard operating procedures that I'm working on creating. Those will be presented to the board of directors in the first quarter meeting next year. When I came into the position a year and a half ago, I learned very quickly we have, other than the bylaws and the standing rules and your rodeo rules, if it's not there, it's not documented. How to do it, when to do it, who you need to get involved and so forth. I've also, this past year and a half, worked with our associations and helped Canada go through the process of getting all their paperwork and their organization seated with IGRA. Worked with the associations that were in recognized status and helping them get their documents together. Reached out to the trustees throughout the year, working with the board of directors as well as the trustees, helping associations, us respecting one another, teamwork, being able to work together, collaborate, are all good things I think we would benefit from. I would love to be your IGRA secretary for another 2 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. So, number 2? Okay. You have a 10-minute caucus. Okay, if you haven't bought your tickets for the 2 cups, we're gonna draw that right prior to lunch. They're right over here. Patrick has them in his hands. Patrick, you want to come in the front and make a little Vanna White move across the front? Yes, sir. I'll send the. Oh yes. Oh, okay. So James, where did James go? Oh, after lunch. Okay. So that's what we'll do. We'll move it till after lunch. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So we'll do the raffle or the drawing after lunch. They're also at the end of lunch. They're going to close the silent auction. So and that way it'll give them the rest of the afternoon to chase you down before you can get away. So make sure that you check your silent auction. These are actual Yes, the pictures are several of our contestants that have been put on these cups, and then all the association acronyms. So anyone, see someone in CGRA if you want to buy those raffle tickets. Or Malon. Huh? And David's going to sign that cup. Yeah, okay. All right, so are we ready? Where did Frank go? Are we ready to, yeah, are you ready to, huh? Okay, can you pass out the ballots? Is the delegation changed anywhere from first thing this morning? Okay. Yep. Can all the delegates please sit down so they know who to give a ticket or a voting ballot to, please? Can everybody sit down? So the results of the secretary election, Michael Norman will continue to be your IGRA secretary. Congratulations, Michael. I previously asked, but I don't think we had any other old business. Did I miss any of that? Okay. You know, Dan might take offense to that. Didn't come from me, Dan. Okay, moving into new business. Oh, sorry. Okay, the first thing listed, I'm not sure why, but I've asked Michael Lentz, we will provide Frank with the filings and the letter and anything else in the Board of Directors section. Okay. Okay, perfect. So anybody is welcome to see that. We already took the first step, taking the second step by the time the weekend's over, and then we have the final step. So 2020 convention proposals and site selection. Do I have any number 15?
Sammy Simpkin, Red River Rodeo Association. We would like to propose two options for convention. One would be the traditional convention like this, two locations. That one would be in Denton, Texas. The other option we'd like to present would be more of a destination type of place where it's all inclusive, maybe a resort, if you will, but something along that lines, because when you look at the cost of what a convention takes, we want to explore that. So we've had discussions with some of the sister associations that have put on convention. They will help us. They have a lot of material that they'll bring to us and help us with the convention. And we had sent Doreen Rue to the convention meeting that we had at here, and so that we know the limitations, the pricing caps, all of that. We would like to present this to the first board meeting in January to the board.
Okay. Any other proposals? Michael?
For the purposes of the minutes, are we saying that the Board of Directors would then finalize the convention bid in the January meeting, or?
Yes, sir. This is exactly like Denver did this last year.
Okay.
Yep. And for those of you, if you didn't hear Sam, there'll be two suggestions, one in Denton, one like in an all-inclusive, like in Cabo or something like that. If you've never seen some of those are very inexpensive, so by the time you added your hotel, your food, and your alcohol, they're generally much less than a in-state deal. The challenge would be passports, right? But that would be 11 months away, and I don't know anybody that couldn't get one. But anyway, it's just a suggestion, y'all. It's just thinking out of the box. So we'll send 2 proposals to the board to look at. So make sure that your trustee is on that call that we're having in January. So, any other offers for 2020 convention? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Okay. So Red River will host it, but we will give a couple of options. Hello, Mr. Neal. That is just 2020. So now I'm asking for an option for 2021. Any association want to entertain the possibility of hosting the number 5? Thank you. Might I ask, would it be at the Havana Inn?
Only for pork chop.
Sorry, you remember I have lots of history there.
I know.
Now I know who I ran into when I was trying to get out. Great. Anybody else for 2021? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of GPRA for 2021 say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? This is wonderful, y'all. Okay, so 2020 finals will again be at Westworld in Scottsdale, Arizona. Sam and I have been in contact multiple times with them. As far as this time last year, I had already signed the contract, but I've asked many times, and so has Sam, along with not sure what's going on as far as maybe their staff or something like that, because when we asked for the final bills so we could finish up, she told me the lady wasn't going to be in until Monday. I'm not sure if it was a medical leave or something like that. That's really none of my business. But we'll get everything resolved. It was already approved, all that kind of stuff. We will make sure when we get it, we'll let everybody know. But that's a minor detail, and since it's already been approved for the site. So we'll make sure that nothing's changed. I'll probably send it out to the whole board to look at prior to anyway. Okay? So minor detail, we just don't have it signed this year like we did last year, and it's no fault of ours. 2020 rodeo dates. Frank, do we want to go down through to make sure that we're all correct now and everybody? Because we had some corrections to do from the board meeting on Thursday, so we'll... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right, so some of the dates may not be correct yet then. So there's Arizona. Does that look, that's correct? Texas, is that correct? Yes, sir. All right. Steve, that's correct for hot. Great Plains, is that correct? Okay. This one is correct as well, except we just need to change it. It's Sedalia, Missouri, right? Okay. Correct that. Rocky Mountains is the one that is incorrect. That is not the correct date. It is the 10th through the 12th. Yep. So that will be corrected. North Star, is that correct? Okay. Judy? For Chuck, that's correct. Okay. Brian? Okay. All right. There's Best Buck in the Bay. David? Okay, that's all right. Third week, well then the same weekend as Bighorn? The next weekend would be Bighorn. Okay. So just 1 week in between, there's. Okay. All right. Yeah, he said they weren't sure. Go ahead, Brian. What did you just. Here you go.
And MGRA is currently having some discussions with the venue that we use in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We're not completely sure that it's going to work out in our favor. So we currently plan, as you see here, for Labor Day weekend. But we don't know yet for sure.
Okay, was it a rumor that it might move to Albuquerque?
No, it very well might move to Albuquerque.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But that is not confirmed yet.
Okay.
There's 2 or 3 things that have to fall into place for that to happen.
Okay.
We'll be on it very quickly after this convention.
Okay. Okay, so the New Mexico is just not confirmed yet, so that's. Then the finals. Okay. Thank you, Frank. Let's take a 10-minute break. Or let's go be back at 11:35. Okay, everybody back. So now I'm going to have my wife help us. So I just found out Mr. Terry's birthday is tomorrow. So please wish him a happy 62nd birthday. And join my wife in happy birthday.
Okay, ready, everybody? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you. Woo! And as Christopher would say, and at least one more.
Okay. Are we better ready now? No? Maybe? Okay. So we're going to start into the proposals, I guess, in new business. Okay. The first proposal, where did Michael go? Oh, is it the second one? Or? No, you might need a secretary. Oh, I do need a secretary. Is Michael Norman missing? Can you retrieve him, please? Thank you. Oh, okay. Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? It's pointless. Number. Okay. Okay. What Angela asked was it on the calendar where we were talking about earlier, if a date isn't confirmed, that Frank notate that on that rodeo date?
Candy?
Yes, sir.
On the calendar, if the rodeo is approved, it has a green check mark. If it hasn't been approved by the board of the board of directors, then there's no green check mark on that rodeo.
Valuable information. Okay.
He put it up on the calendar. You see the green check mark is on the screen.
Okay, if we can kind of quieten down a little bit so everybody can hear. Okay, here's your first proposal. Any discussion? Number 4.
I don't think I'm reading this wrong, but somebody correct me. The first sentence, to submit to the bylaws committee chair at least 60 days prior to annual convention. Then the second one, chairperson format and organize and submit to secretary for distribution 60 days prior. To me, that's conflict. You can't do, if there's 60 days prior to the bylaws chair,
Yep.
then you can't do 60 days after that. So that needs to be corrected.
Okay. Michael?
The current bylaw had the 60 for both, and so what I submitted this proposal to address the problem we had this year getting from rodeo rules proposals in for the associations to see the bylaw changes and the standing rules. You know, we didn't have that many bylaws this year, but I emailed to all of the trustees to communicate to their associations to get their proposals submitted to the committee chair by the 10th of September. And then the committee chairs were told between the 10th of September and the 23rd, gave them 2 weeks prior to the 60-day deadline to do any formatting changes they needed. And then the secretary...
Michael? I'm going to hold you up there. That's not what he's asking. He's telling you that both the days are the same.
If you submit to the bylaws chair 60 days prior, say September 15th, then bylaws chair can submit, that's 60 days prior to convention. The bylaws chair doesn't have 60 days in to submit it prior to convention.
Correct.
So that's a conflict.
That's a conflict. So what he's saying is that you'd have to change the first one to like 90 for the second one to be 60 or something.
Okay, how about we change the second 60 to 45?
I'm not making
No, no. Well, he's just telling you they're in conflict, so
Right.
you have to change your own. Your vote. It presented. No, we didn't. They were just reading it, and realized it was in conflict. So I think Michael could correct his deal right here if he.
Yeah, let's change the second 60 to 45.
Okay. No, it's the first date, not the second. It's the first date, not the second. Yeah, the first one needs to be 90.
Okay. That gives the people more time. Yeah.
Frank, can you refresh? Nope. It still doesn't make, you go, the first one says 60 days, and the second one says 45, so it won't go, it has to be the first one that's changed. You understand?
Changes must be submitted to the chairperson in 60 days. The chairperson sends it to the secretary for 45 days.
I'm going to try to walk people through this. The intent is for the committee chairs, I see what you're talking about now, Ron.
Yeah.
Um,
It's still wrong. Yeah. We're gonna send this back.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
gonna, all right, let's go to the next proposal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to entertain a motion to propose this. Okay. It was David Lawson, Steve Guidry. Discussion? If the delegate is okay. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Okay, passes. Oh, is that same thing again? Hang on. Okay, let's skip that one, Frank, because they're gonna have to fix that. Is this just cleaning up the? Is this just a cleanup? I think it just wasn't cleaned up last year, is that what it is? Okay, I'll entertain a motion. I know, but let's just fix it. Okay, second by Angela, so it was you, okay? Any discussion? This is just cleaning up what, I don't know how it missed. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Okay. That one's done, Frank. Okay. All right, we will in just a second. Where's the change in this? Might need to roll down, I guess. You can refresh. We have to have a, entertain a motion to, okay, Randy? Okay, discussion, 11?
I know, I guess it's Sunday morning, can you explain this proposal?
I need to find the editor because I didn't know about it myself, so we have a, members committee, but we'll, who? Oh. Jameson.
Yes, James Cole. The intent behind this proposal was to add a committee that specifically deals with new member, new contestant. Liaison might not be the right word, but bridging that gap. Part of what I've learned being here as someone who's not been in the organization 2 full years or 3 full years yet, I didn't think I could come to the convention as a new member until I did a bunch of asking around and figured out how I could get myself here to learn. So in that right, if we create a committee that can have a meeting during the convention and some of the new members and new contestants, I think it will facilitate not only finding those people, but then also helping to educate them and helping to start to train the new generation of rodeo people that will take over the spot that you guys are sitting in right now. And that's why I suggested that we add this to the
Okay. Michael, then number 12.
When it says new members, are we talking about new member association or a new member at an association level?
The specific language of what defines a new member, if you look down at the bottom in the comprehensive list of duties, I did not specify what I believe will be a new member association. Upon approval or maybe later on, I would have to, whoever gets put in the chair to reach out and make that definition. So there is no specific wording about who is considered a member or association under those jurisdictions. I would need more guidance and direction than that.
Number 12.
On the Atlantic States Gay Radio Association, is there a vision for this committee and the persons who are on it that go beyond this convention and to be there to help assist new members and new contestants at rodeos?
Number 13.
Laura Scott, NGRA. Doesn't the onus already fall on the association to kind of school their new members and new contestants anyway? Or shouldn't it?
Yep. Number 4, Ron.
Ron Trustley, HRA. Laura touched on what I wanted to say, but individually, we are not members of IGRA. Associations are member associations. And IGRA doesn't dictate to the local associations how you work with your membership. That's up to the local association to provide information to your new members in that. I could see possibly something for new contestants, but there are contestant liaisons already who could do that. If associations want to reach out to them and say, we've got this new contestant, can you help them work with them? So I really don't see any need for this. And there's already also a membership committee in IGRA to deal with associations.
Okay, number 13. Guy. Oh, you got it? Number 16 in the back.
Stu Jones, UGRA. As a member, my first time at convention, I would rather have participated in the things I participated in rather than in membership committee, because this is where I'm learning what I'm going to be doing or what I want to be involved in. And leading up to this for the last 8, 9 months that I've been a member, my association has done a good job of bringing me up in that, and I have the opportunity to ask any questions of them or figure out what's going on before I got here today. Today I want to learn and be part of everything that's actually going on, not something that separates me from you.
Thank you, Stu. And we're glad you're here. Any other discussion? Frank?
We have a page on the website for new contestant info, and if somebody would like to write up that kind of information that you're looking for, that can be placed in there, and at least it's available if somebody goes to the trouble to find it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. Nay. Abstentions? It fails. We're going to go back. One? Oh, there's no number 3 now. There's a number 1 that will you put 3 back? Hang on, he's just gonna,
Frank, I was just asking if you moved that deleted, if it was permanently deleted. If so, I'll recreate it. Thank you.
Okay, just let's go to 8 then while he's doing that. Oh, did I skip 7? Sorry. Okay, let's go back, Frank. I'm skipping all kinds. I guess there's 6 first. Yes, please. There we go. Okay, this is adding to the name of the admin assistant to help us with the 501c3 status. It's just a title change. If anybody has any, I need to entertain a motion to approve. Boogie, seconded by Chuck. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? It passes. Now, we'll go 7. Okay. A caucus has been called, so. Oh, actually, it's actually lunchtime. Did you want to delay lunch or go ahead and just go to lunch and then we'll bring this one back? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, we're in recession for lunch. Don't forget, after lunch, we're going to draw for the cups and the silent auction will close. We're back at 1:30. Okay, everybody ready for the drawing? Okay, Mipsy. Everybody got their tickets out? So we're going to do the white one first. And your ticket will go back in, just in case. The auction will be closed when we're done with this. Okay, the first one is 129711. And I have it. Whoa! Wait.
She bought over $100 worth of tickets, just to let you all know. She was a very determined individual.
Did you want to see? No, I picked the white one.
Oh, wait,
Back in there.
that isn't yours.
Give me that. Okay. One, 29924. Oh yeah. That's what happens when you hand two straps your tickets to your wife to read them for you. Okay, so with that being said, I'm now going to auction this off, and the proceeds will go to CGRA. Okay? You ready? Do I have an opening bid? 25? 50? We got 50 right here. Got $100 behind there. $100? Do I hear 110? 110. Do I hear 120? 120. 130? Anyone? 120? 120? Going once? 125. $150. Whoop. No, I have 150 here. You got to go up. $200. $200. Getting froggy? 250? Okay. 250. I have $250. Do I hear? Okay. 250 going once. 250 going twice. 250 going 3 times. Thank you. Philip got it? That raised 471, and then they'll add the 250 to it. Thank you for everyone for participating. Okay. We were on proposal 7. Oh, the silent auction is now closed. You can sit down and not guard the stuff anymore. Before this? Oh, we can. You want to? Okay. Amy, do you want me to put this on hold and go to Hall of Fame? Okay. Frank, we're gonna come back to this and go to Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Got it. Hey, real fast, there was a red ribbon that if it came off someone's sash that was laying in the floor they found. Anyone? Anyone missing? Okay.
Michael Vroom and Patrick Terry, can you come to the front, please? Carol Merrill and Carol Merrill's sister. Everybody enjoy last night's reception? Would you like to see it happen again? Okay, very good. We're going to start now. Candy and Roger and I are going to take turns reading the bios, and first up will be Roger.
Douglas Graff was born and raised on a pig farm in Wisconsin with 3 sisters and a brother. His dad was an auctioneer, and Doug spent most summer weekends helping at estate auctions. He quickly found his niche running the food stand. At 14, he had finally saved enough money to buy his first horse, which soon led to his first broken arm. More would follow, but after a hiatus. Doug's hometown had fewer than 200 people, so to say that everyone knew everyone is a big understatement. When it became clear to him that he was, well, special, Doug decided to leave the farm and pursue a college degree and then a job out of state in a bigger city. He couldn't get away from the farm fast enough, or so he thought. He received a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater in May of 1989. By July, he had relocated to Flint, Michigan, where he worked for Electronic Data Systems, EDS, as a systems engineer at the General Motors V8 plant. EDS had a habit of moving people around to various assignments. In 1992, Doug was stationed in Plano, Texas, and discovered Oak Lawn in Dallas. He quickly learned it was easier to meet men if you could dance. Luckily, a guy took pity on Doug and taught him to two-step one Sunday afternoon at the Roundup Saloon. Doug's next assignment was in Cupertino, California, where he discovered another country bar and more cowboys. This time it was a ranch owner who invited Doug to the ranch for calf vaccinating and branding weekend. The stars were lining up. He also met an International Gay Rodeo Association contestant who Doug believed needed extra special attention. Doug was up for the task and bought a plane ticket to Los Angeles for the rodeo. At the airport, he met then GSGRA president and soon-to-be IGRA president, Craig Rouse. Years later, Craig would become Doug's mentor and dear friend. It was that weekend at the 10th annual LA Rodeo in 1994 when Doug realized he could embrace his roots and his sexuality. He was happy. The California work assignment ended. Doug returned to Michigan and sought out the country dancing scene. On his first night, he saw a poster for a new group that was forming a gay rodeo in Detroit. He went to one meeting, and bam, he was hooked. He quickly became an officer and rodeo production team member for the Greater Motown International Rodeo. He would serve the rodeo for 3 years before relocating back to California. When Doug arrived in San Jose in 1996, the San Jose Rodeo was dwarfed by the then huge LA and San Diego rodeos. He worked tirelessly for many years to bring new features to the little California rodeo. He really wanted a pool party, but there was no money in the budget for it. So he rented used sound equipment and asked his then boyfriend to play music on Friday as people were arriving. It was a hit, and through the years, the Friday and Saturday San Jose pool parties often had more spectators than the rodeo. Jabby Lowe, GSGRA president, gave Doug the first ever Because I Can Award in 2007 for his passion to make change happen. Doug held multiple chapter and association, formal and informal leadership roles in California. He was instrumental in rebranding the San Jose Rodeo as the best buck in the Bay. He worked to create one of the first gay rodeo advertisements on mainstream country radio. He had a knack for courting sponsors like Coralillo Tequila, Western Warehouse, and Elbow Grease to get in on gay rodeo. He served as rodeo director for the best buck in the Bay 4 times. Like so many, once Doug got close to the dirt, he got back in it. He quickly mastered the camp events and started riding steers and bulls. Through the years, he earned many buckles and ribbons. He especially loved the wild drag race because it allowed him to be a fierce competitor and a huge audience pleaser. Doug also competed on the royalty side of the house and won the title of Mr. GSGRA in 1998. It spawned a lifelong friendship with Miss GSGRA 1998, Alex Michaels. He went on to become Mr. IGRA 1999, along with his black sash compadres, Miss IGRA 99 DeShannon and Ms. IGRA 1999 Laura Scott. During those years, and still today, Doug has lent his fundraising, singing, and motivating talents to the royalty side of IGRA. On his last rodeo arena competition weekend, a documentarian was following him in hopes of telling Doug's story. Unfortunately, Doug broke his pelvis in steer riding on Saturday, and his rodeo competition days were over. Prior to the accident, Doug's flair had him doing double duty as rodeo clown and competitor for many years. Ask him sometime to tell you about the 2 Southern Belles and their trip to New York City. It's a classic. After the accident, Doug was approached by the Hot Rodeo in 2008 to be their announcer. He accepted the invitation, unsure of what he was getting into, but he was a natural. He picked it up, and his years of rodeo involvement, contestant relationships, sponsor appreciation, and entertainment skills served him well. He was honored to be invited to announce World Gay Rodeo Finals his first year as an announcer. In 2010, at IGRA convention in Reno, Doug was elected president of IGRA. He worked diligently with Bud Light to secure a sponsorship contract and balance the IGRA budget without using funds from savings. His professional computer software background and natural showmanship brought forward a website with newer technology, including many pictures to help tell the IGRA story. Today, Doug lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, where there's no shortage of flair. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Doug Graff.
Thank God I ate lunch. You are what you eat. Anyway, I didn't present that picture. I don't know where it came from or how it got there. But I did want to just share a couple of things with you all. I grew up on a farm, and when I was 8 years old, half of our beef herd laid down and died. And our community rallied around us, and we had a Christmas out of the deal. And it kind of built and shaped who I am and where I came from. And when, like Roger said, when I got to LA to the first gay rodeo, wow. So I could put all those things together, and I found a home, and it's been an incredible ride. And I just wanted to thank a few people. That first contestant who invited me to LA, thank you, Kirk Carter. Without you, I probably would have never found all these folks. And Jim Brown, wherever you are. Thank you for starting Michigan. And Tom Sheridan for being my compadre in those early days, for running around to rodeos with me and helping me figure out how to win my first finals buckle in steer decorating. That was pretty cool. Craig Rouse and Brad Roberts for teaching me that being a competitor and being an organizer and being a rodeo director and all those things, you can do them all. And that was pretty cool to do all that in San Jose and through the years. And Chris Caulfield, he probably doesn't realize this, but when I was rodeo director, he was our treasurer, and we just really worked well together. It was quite a team. I was also fortunate enough to have a partner for several years in the Bay Area who ran around to rodeos with me and put up with all my shenanigans, and really was a lot of the background and behind the scenes work so that I could do the front of the house stuff, and that's John Carrillo. And all of the GPD kids, they used to call me Grandpa Doug in California, the royalties who followed me. There was a pretty good crew of kids. And they're still spawning today, so that's kind of neat. To all my rodeo wives, Alex, Laura, and DeShannon, you guys rock. You know that, wherever you are, DeShannon. Just John Perez in California for stepping in and being the rodeo director when I decided to leave and go to Nevada. To Andrew Goodman for being the best vice president could ever ask for, and a dear friend. Adam Johnson, who joined me in the announcer's booth and was my eyes and my ears, because I don't see very well and I can't always see across the arena, and I'm like, hey Adam, did they catch? Did they catch? He goes, yeah, they caught. So then I could say they caught. And to another dear friend who recently joined me in the announcer's booth, and I think that you all saw a rising star there, and that's Scotty Shaddix. Yeah. And when I was president of IGRA, I was doing some things that were controversial and whatnot, and I said, Scotty, am I doing the right thing? And he said, you're doing the thing, and you're the president, and they elected you to lead, so do what you think is right. And I thanked him for that. So IGRA, thank you very much. This is an amazing honor. It's been a great ride, and I look forward to many more years. It's just been a treat to be a part of this organization. Thank you all very much.
Guy Puglisi, aka Pork Chop, was born in Buffalo, New York. When he was 3, his parents moved to the dry, warm desert of Las Vegas, Nevada. Guy has been a Las Vegas resident for over 40 years and has been an active part of the gay community since 1992, volunteering his spare time for a number of groups and organizations. Golden Rainbow, the Men of Charlie's is one of the contest coordinators for 11 years, P-Flag, and SNAP Las Vegas Pride, to name a few. He also served on the board of directors for the Gay and Lesbian Community Center of Southern Nevada, known as the Center, as member-at-large 2001 through 2002, and vice president 2002 through 2003, when it was housed in a very, very small building converted from an old dentist's office. Guy became a member of the Nevada Gay Rodeo Association, NGRA, in March 2000, immediately after his first exposure to the sport of gay rodeo, which was at the Roadrunner Regional Rodeo in Phoenix, Arizona in January 2000. Since then, he has served on the NGRA Board of Directors as Member at Large, 2000 to 2001, Secretary and Membership Chairperson, 2001 to 2002, and Vice President, 2002 to 2003. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Additionally, he was appointed to complete the remaining term of trustee February to October 2004, when the position was left vacant for the second time. Guy most recently served as the NGRA trustee from January 2011 through December 2016. Additionally, he was chairman of the IGRA Board of Trustees from January 2014 through December 2016, and the IGRA Division II vice chair from January 2013 through December 2013. Guy has been elected as a trustee to IGRA again in 2019 for a 3-year term. In addition to his board responsibilities, Guy has worked in several other capacities for NGRA and IGRA. He served as the Assistant Rodeo Director for Bighorn Rodeo 2003 and was part of the 2002 NGRA royalty team, which helped raise thousands of dollars to assist NGRA in making its comeback rodeo in 2002 after taking a year off. Guy was an active member of the fundraising and pride committees in past years and served as co-rodeo director for Bighorn Rodeos 14 and 15. In November 2014, Guy was awarded with NGRA's highest honor, a lifetime membership, for his many years of service and dedication to his home association. After his most recent 6-year term as trustee, he also served as the IGRA Rodeo Officials Committee Chair in 2017 and co-chair in 2018, which was the year that took recertification testing into the electronic age for all certified officials. With a passion for the sport of gay rodeo and the gay community at large, Guy has been a certified scorekeeper for the International Gay Rodeo Association since 2000 and a certified secretary since 2002. He travels to numerous rodeos each year representing NGRA and participating in the production of rodeos across the country. Guy is currently the only IGRA certified rodeo official on the NGRA membership roster and hopes to continue getting other members involved in the exciting experience of running an IGRA-sanctioned rodeo event in an official capacity. Guy has officiated in one capacity or another at over 150 rodeos, which is approximately 30% of the IGRA-sanctioned rodeos held to date. He was awarded one of the inaugural Certified Officials Awards in 2017. Additionally, he has received multiple IGRA Service Awards and an IGRA Appreciation Award. Guy's nickname, Pork Chop, was given to him by the late DeShannon Christie Jewell at the Atlantic Stampede in 2002. This nickname will likely stick with him for the rest of his life. On Friday night, after multiple days of sightseeing, a tuckered-out Guy returned to his room early from the big welcome party. DeShannon, in her ever-clever way, looked at him and said, "Back so soon? Do I need to tie pork chops around your neck to get the other boys to come play with you?" The nickname stuck, and a long-standing friendship was solidified. Combining his experience and knowledge of the gay community, gay rodeo, fundraising, and nonprofit service with his dedication and commitment to his community and its organizations, Guy continues to be very active in the gay rodeo scene, although he took an hiatus from any official board or committee position in 2019 to give him time to focus on unique family and career obligations. He currently works for the state of Nevada in Human Services Management, overseeing 2 offices and 3 programs with over 200 staff. Guy was appointed by the governor of Nevada in 2015 to serve on a committee tasked with providing final review of employee grievances for all state employees. He continues to serve in this role as the committee's chairman. He plans to retire from his career in 2022 with 30 years of service to the state of Nevada. Please welcome Guy Puglisi to the Hall of Fame.
I didn't know we were supposed to say anything, but I think I gave most of my time to Doug. But I just want to. It's just an incredible honor to have been nominated, and actually to be inducted just blew me away, and I'm incredibly humbled, and thank you all.
David Raniere was born in Seattle, Washington, April 4th, 1961. Shortly after that, his family moved several times to Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, and finally in California. After the death of his uncle, his parents' divorce, David and his mother moved to Bloomington, California to help his aunt run their wild animal park. There, his family maintained the zoo as well as working with Hollywood movie and TV shows such as the Beverly Hillbillies and many other movies that included exotic animals. David was active in 4-H and Future Farmers of America, where he showed beef and dairy cattle as well as sheep and swine. He also showed horses and competed in local, junior high, and high school rodeos, which was his passion, I think. He heard about the gay rodeo from a friend, but was too young to enter, so he waited until he was 21. His first rodeo was in Los Angeles in 1985, and he entered the barrel racing event where he finished in the top 10. That was the beginning of many more years of traveling the United States with his friends. During his many years of rodeoing, he had 4 main partners that helped him achieve his success: Sonny Rose Berger, Candy Pratt, Kurt Carter, and Sal Pepe Luzada. He believes that without these people, he's not sure he could have been as successful as he was in his events. Through the years, David had few great horses, but 3 stand out to him: a sorrel gelding named Biscuit, a sorrel mare named Badger, and finally a superstar brown gelding, the Easy Horse. Between these horses, David won hundreds of buckles. David also had much success in the straight horse show world, winning circuit champion as well as reserve world champion with his horse Easy. In 2011, he was featured in the docudrama called Queens and Cowboys, a straight year on the gay rodeo, which focused on one of David's strong competitors, Wade Earp, who is also in his Hall of Fame. The movie highlighted David's years of success, including his having won the World Gay Rodeo Finals WRF All-Around Cowboy title the previous 2 years. Wade did hard work to win the 2011 WRF title of All-Around Cowboy. However, David came back to win the title again in 2012 and 2013. The movie's producer often referred to David as the Michael Jordan of gay rodeo. David was the senior humane officer for the state of California, which led him into law enforcement, where he served for 15 years. He eventually moved to San Diego, California, and went into business for himself and started the Thick Hair Enhancement, which is a hair replacement business that provides a service for women going through chemotherapy. In 2015, he lost his partner, Nolan Waters, to suicide. After that, David felt like he needed to carry on Nolan's name and start the Nolan Waters Foundation. This foundation has programs which help high school kids and our military members suffering with depression. In 2019, David married his longtime friend, Jimmy Durario, and lives on their ranch in Colorado, where his husband is the owner and trainer of Durario Performance Horses. They travel the state showing horses, and David has qualified for the 2019 AQHA World Championships with their reining and ranch riding horses. Please welcome David Raniere to the Hall of Fame. David couldn't be with us today. That's the reason I gave him his buckle last night at the Hall of Fame reception. Okay, fine.
Tim Smith was born in Oak Park, Illinois on January 18, 1967. Tim is an only child and was raised in Garland, Texas. In high school, Tim was the school mascot, Ollie Owl, and was nominated for class favorite and voted most owl spirit. He attended Southern Methodist University and graduated with a major in math and a minor in dance. Following college, Tim went to work for ASA Delta Airlines, where he remained until 2000. Tim joined the Texas Gay Rodeo Association, TGRA, in 1987 and rapidly became involved in many areas of the association. In 1988, intent on running as a candidate for Miss TGRA 1989, he created the character Tessie. The characters of Dee Shannon, Mitch Gill, and Chili Pepper, Tony Valdez, were created at that time as well. Miss Tessie held the title of Miss TGRA First Runner-Up in 1989. He was also the TGRA Dallas Chapter Secretary for 1989. He became the San Antonio Chapter Secretary in 1990 and then was relocated by Delta to Atlanta, Georgia. He quickly became involved with the local rodeo association, then known as the Southeast Gay Rodeo Association, or SEGRA, and served as their trustee from 1992 through 1993. As though he didn't have enough on his plate, he also served as Miss SEGRA 1993. Tim, as Miss Tessie, competed for an IGRA royalty sash at the 1993 finals in Fort Worth, Texas, and was crowned Miss IGRA 1994. At the culmination of his year as Miss IGRA 1994, Tim won the goat dressing buckle at the rodeo finals in Denver, Colorado. Over the years, Tim has spent an enormous amount of time and energy helping to set up royalty programs with new associations, as well as helping to revive royalty programs in older associations. Tim met his former partner, Marcus Hood Jr., aka Boogie, in 2001, and together they raised their beautiful daughter, Taylor. He purchased Buds and Blooms Florist in 2008, which he has expanded and still owns today. Tim stepped away from rodeo for a while, but was ultimately drawn back into the fray. Tim served as TGRA Vice President from 2014 to 2016, and TGRA President 2017 to 2019. He also served as entertainment co-chair for World Gay Rodeo Finals for 2017 and 2018. In 2019, Tim was certified as both an arena director and a shoot coordinator and can be heard calling "Next Rider" all over the IGRA circuit. At the time of his induction into this Hall of Fame, Tim resides in Garland, Texas. Please welcome Tim to the Hall of Fame.
The last time I saw her cry like this was when she received that crown in Fort Worth, Texas. Oh, Lord. Woo. Anthony Valdez was born on June 18, 1961 in Tucson, Arizona. He has 3 siblings, Billy, who has passed away when he was a sophomore in high school, Magda and Victor. Tony also has wonderful parents who have attended some of the rodeos in Arizona and were present in Phoenix when Tony, also known as Miss Chili Pepper, was crowned Miss IGRA in 1993. Additionally, many IGRA folks knew Tony's mother, Norma, from her work with the Agape International Spiritual Center in Tucson. As a child, Tony grew up wanting to be a Vegas dancer and gymnast. Instead, he became a hairdresser in Phoenix and still enjoys giving good hair. I'm glad of that last word. He became a color educator and attended the Vidal Sassoon Academy in San Francisco. He worked at the Connection and at Shamu's in Phoenix until he moved north to the south rim of the Grand Canyon National Park along with his second boyfriend, Ernie. Tony worked at the Bright Angel Lodge cutting hair. He says it was the most beautiful place he has ever worked, and he thoroughly enjoyed life in the park. Tony attended some of the early Roadrunner regional rodeos during this period. When he decided to leave the Grand Canyon, his mother suggested Dallas as a good fit, where his sister was already living. This was where he discovered the TGRA, and the birth of his community fundraising began. He would be introduced to many different TGRA chapters and met people from all over the country. He quickly became besties with Tim Smith and the late Mitch Gill. They were young blood at the time who wanted to see the youth of rodeo grow and keep the rodeos going on forever. They became involved in many community activities: the AIDS Memorial Quilt, Brian's House, AIDS Services of Dallas, the Food Pantry, the AIDS Resource Center, ACT UP, and an Imperial Court System. They felt honored to be really involved in the Dallas community, and not surprisingly, everyone knew who they were. After the cancellation of the 1988 IGRA finals in Reno, Tony knew that he had to do his part to make our rodeo history a legacy for the future of all of us. His dear friend, the late Gerald Ford, a former IGRA president, taught him how our involvement in our community would shape our history and would help to grow our organization and to be involved in a cause that was so much bigger than all of us. The Roundup Saloon, Dallas Eagle, Cruise Inn, Pegasus Lounge, The Hidden Door, Hideaway, and Buddy's would become his homes. Tony credits the wonderful support of the bar owners and patrons with being instrumental in fundraising efforts over the years. These people, along with the rodeo athletes that Tony admired, made him want to be a rodeo contestant himself. And so in 1988, Tony competed in his first time in goat dressing at the TGRA Rodeo and was instantly addicted. The following January, he decided to try his hand at shoot dogging at the Roadrunner Regional Rodeo in Phoenix. There he won his first ribbon in wild drag, and he was surprised to land in the top 15 shoot dogging finishers both days. One thing that Tony loved about TGRA was that each chapter would be responsible for a different aspect of the production of their annual rodeo. This approach enabled folks to learn about and gain experience in many of the different aspects of rodeo production. Tony's learning continues to this day, over 30 years later. Miss Tessie, Tim Smith, would be the first of their group to run for Miss TGRA in 1988, becoming Miss TGRA first runner-up. They entertained with many of their friends, including DeShannon, Mitch Gill. Next, in 1990, DeShannon and Tony's Miss Chili Pepper ran for Mr. and Miss TGRA, with Tony ending up Mr. TGRA first runner-up by the mere 1 point. Tony's fundraising prowess was a force to be reckoned with. During the particularly conservative period in Texas, Tony came up with an idea to have a Gay Days fundraiser at Six Flags Over Texas. This event was so successful that Tony organized 3 Gay Days at Six Flags. Before the event was taken over by the Dallas chapter, the royalty bug had bitten Tony, and there would be no stopping him. He ran for Mr. TGRA in 1991, but was suffering from asthma, and the fundraising wasn't as good as the previous year. Upon finishing the year, Randall Vickers and the travel agency he worked for said they would like to support Tony, but wanted him as Chili Pepper to run for Miss TGRA. So Chili Pepper was official and ended up becoming Miss TGRA 1992. Chili attended 15 rodeos that year and was thrilled to be selected as Miss IGRA 1993. His sister, Miss Tessie, also competed at that finals, representing the Southwest Gay Rodeo Association, SEGRA. 1993 was a year of highlights. Chili attended all the IGRA rodeos, including the new rodeo near Seattle, appearing on the Jerry Springer Show, and was another highlight. Also in 1993, Kim Dawson, who worked at Southwest Airlines, asked Tony to marry her as her beard for work. The big benefit was free flights. Tony and Kim attended all the rodeos that year and developed a fantastic relationship. They remain lifelong friends, and after divorcing 6 years ago, they are each now remarried to their respective partners. Tony, along with Tim Smith and their royalty team, would start a new era of creating a royalty team environment that would encourage more participation from the title holders, runner-ups. Major weekends during this period often saw 2 rodeos being held simultaneously in different parts of the country. Working as a team made it possible for royalty to be represented at all the IGRA events. Tony worked at the Roundup Saloon for some time, and their policy of no weekends off curtailed his ability to travel to events. During this period, he continued to be heavily involved with TGRA and various Dallas area charities. Additionally, he was regular bowler in the Dallas League, and with Tim Smith became involved with the Gay Softball League, helping them to send their teams to the Gay Softball World Series for many years. In 2001, Tony left the Roundup for a new career in the skies with American Airlines, for whom he still flies today. He was transferred to the Bay Area and ended up living with Doug Graff. Doug got Tony involved with the Golden State Rodeo Association, and he worked the Bay Area Rodeo that year. Then came 9/11, and Tony was laid off. He was subsequently reassigned to Chicago, where he connected with Michael Vrooman and the Illinois Gay Rodeo Association. Tony continues to be involved with ILGRA to this day. He met David Werner, the love of his life, in Chicago, and they have been together since June of 2002, marrying him in 2015. Tony says that David is an inspiration to him and has supported getting him back involved more fully with gay rodeo. They have traveled extensively together, both domestically and internationally, allowing them to experience many new countries and places within the U.S. Tony has been welcomed into David's family, and David is a very special man who has made Tony's life more than he could ever imagined. They were on vacation in Puerto Vallarta when Tony got a call from Candy Pratt and Tim Smith asking he would accept the nomination for the IGRA vice president and take over for someone vacating the position. Several hours later, he became the IGRA VP. The job was very interesting, and to say the least, and he was very proud of the team that he guided. He felt like a parent to royalty team and remains immensely proud of their achievements. He says he was proud to serve even though it was just for 1 year. He thanks David Hill, Ron Trusley, Tommy Channel, and all the board members and trustees for their help that year. It became a bit overwhelming, but the finals in the New Mexico were truly enchanting. Upon learning of his selection for the induction into the IGRA Hall of Fame, here's what he said. In all my years of being involved with IGRA, I never dreamed this day would come. I am totally humbled by this. I want to thank the committee who thought my hard work and years at IGRA warranted such an honor. My journey started in 1988 when I became involved with TGRA, and I've never looked back. Tony says that the friends and family he has met during his involvement have been incredible, with many becoming lifelong friends. They are a group he has the honor of calling his rodeo family. At every rodeo, he sees an old face who has been absent for a while and meets new ones that added to the collection. IGRA holds a very special place in his heart, where he keeps all that warm and good. The heroes, the athletes, the volunteers, the spectators, and the animals. Tony thanks IGRA for thinking of him, and he is grateful to have been part of its history. He says, when they write the book, we all laugh, cry, and look back at our accomplishments and to be very proud of all our hard work that was created in our history. I love you all and want to continue to grow and make more wonderful music together. At this time of this induction Hall of Fame, Tony resides in Chicago with his partner David. Please welcome Tony Valdez to the Hall of Fame. Last night, we also gave Tony his buckle last night because he had to be somewhere else today. Thank you.
For our next inductee, we have some family members here, and I'll introduce them at the end. But to start with, I've been doing some research over the last few months, and to the best of my knowledge, only 3 women competed at the National Reno Gay Rodeo and then moved on to IGRA. Casey Jackson, who's in the Hall of Fame and was here last night. Cindy McCormick is also in the Hall of Fame. And our third woman, Jeanette Mapuana Van Norman, was born November 1st, 1954 in Honolulu, Hawaii, to John and Alice Van Norman. The family moved to Colorado in 1958 when her father was transferred by the Navy. She was fondly known as Johnny to her friends and Mapu to her family. She was the oldest of 3 children. Johnny grew up in Lakewood, Colorado, where she attended the schools in Jefferson County. She had a great love for animals, sports, and the Girl Scouts. She played fast-pitch softball, basketball, and ran track. In the Girl Scouts, she went through all of the levels, and at the end, one of her biggest joys was being a camp counselor every year at the Girl Scout camps. We are not sure exactly when Johnny became involved with rodeo, but by 1983, she was a member of the Colorado Gay Rodeo Association's Public Relations Fundraising Committee. In 1984, and again in '86, Johnny was elected to the CGRA Board of Directors as the chair of that committee. In the summer of 1983, Johnny was a member of the cast for the Gotta Get to Reno show, which was a fundraiser to help rodeo contestants get to the August '83 National Reno Gay Rodeo. In addition to the fundraiser for all Colorado contestants, Johnny received financial help from 4 individuals and Studio 31 in Denver. For the CGRA newsletter, she wrote, "I would like to extend my deepest thanks to those individuals who helped me to accomplish a dream come true. I was able to attend and participate in the National Reno Gay Rodeo, all because of the kindness of these people." The August 1983 CGRA newsletter also published the rodeo results from that rodeo. Johnny's wild cow milking team placed second for the weekend, and Johnny tied for third in the bull riding competition. She was the only woman competing in bull riding, which had men and women competing together. She would have won the women's bull riding buckle if it was a sanctioned IGRA rodeo. In 1983, Johnny was also a member of CGRA's Mounted Equestrian Drill Team, which performed at the 1983 Reno Rodeo. In October, the team was also invited to perform at an AIDS benefit pro rodeo at Madison Square Garden in New York City. But ultimately, they were not able to get permission from the show's producers. In 1984, the team rode at CGRA's second Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo in Denver and the first Texas Gay Rodeo in Houston. In addition, Johnny was also a member of the Denver Country Cloggers. After her successful bull ride at the 1983 Reno Rodeo, Johnny continued to compete in the event for several more years, including the first IGRA finals at Hayward, California in 1987. In 1987, she received the IGRA Trustees Award. This award is to recognize those contestants of IGRA who have exhibited excellence in the standards exemplified in the Code of Ethics and Sportsmanship. After the 1987 IGRA finals, Johnny decided to drop bull riding, but she continued with wild cow riding, shoot dogging, and all 3 horse speed events through the 1988 rodeo season. In October 1986, Johnny won the title of Ms. CGRA for the 1987 rodeo year, and the following year, Johnny placed as Ms. IGRA 1988 second runner-up. Prior to the 1987 IGRA annual convention, the only certified rodeo officials were the rodeo judges, who had been certified in 1986. At the '87 convention, requirements for most of the other certified rodeo officials were established, and individuals with prior experience were grandfathered into positions. Johnny was grandfathered in as a shoot coordinator. In 1993, Johnny was the chair of the shoot coordinator committee. She frequently worked the rodeos as a shoot coordinator or on the shoot crew from 1987 through 98. In 94, she also became certified as a rodeo judge and continued her certification through 2000. In 1994 and 95, the IGRA Finals Rodeo was held at the National Western Stock Show Complex in Denver, and Johnny was probably working in the chutes. She was extremely proud when she was invited to be the only woman to help move the stock at the 1995 Pro Rodeo, which was held during the National Western Stock Show. During her rodeo years, Johnny moved away from Colorado for a short period of time. She finally decided it was time to come back to her beloved Colorado and lived her final years in Idaho Springs, enjoying the fishing and working security for Fitzgerald's Casino. She was always happiest sitting at the lakeshore fishing and reading a good book. Johnny passed away on September 18, 2008, and her final wish was to have her ashes spread in the Rocky Mountains. Her family granted her that wish on her 54th birthday and released her to the mountains she loved so dearly. Her family loved her and miss her every day, but will always have fond memories of her. Johnny's sister Nora and her husband Ken Valdez are here to accept her award. Let's welcome Johnny as the next member of the Hall of Fame.
So I'd just like to thank again the committee, Roger Bergman, Candy Pratt, Michael Vrooman, Patrick Terry, and Lonnie LaBelle as our master editor, and Frank Harrell for the miracles that he performs. I'd also like to thank again the sponsors of the event last night, CGRA, the GLRHF, Cowboy Cody K, Roger Japp, Tommy Channel, David Hill, Jack Morgan, and if I've forgotten anyone, I apologize. At the next break, could I please meet on the top of the stairs with Tobin, Jack Morgan, James Jenkins, John Hill, David Hill, please. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to the new business proposals. Finish up. Okay, do you want to go back to, it was 7? Yep. Okay. Okay, so I don't think there was ever a, oh, roll call. Has anybody's delegation changed? How about like that? Number 16? Okay. Number 7? 5. New Mexico. Okay. There was never a motion. So we never had a motion to accept this. Okay. So are you making the well, you can't until there was only a motion, there wasn't a second. Okay. Okay. But, okay, so we went to lunch instead of a caucus, but to bring it, to talk about it, there has to be a motion. Okay? Okay, was lunch enough time, or did you need a caucus, Chuck? Okay. Sorry. Okay, seeing no second to that. Oh. Okay. All right, so now there's discussion. Number 15, Doreen Rue. Whoop. Wait for the microphone, please.
I'm not sure that I really understand the intent of this change, and we're talking about the composition of the executive board. There's already 3 trustees on the executive board, so I don't see that this causes any change in what's already in place.
Michael, did you bring this forward? Okay, we'll let Michael explain it.
Mike Lentz, who got it, Asgra. This is my proposal as a member of the Board of Trustees. This is really not I don't perceive it to be a significant change, actually. Currently, the executive board is the 4 executive officers plus 3 trustees. One of those is the trustee chair, and the other are 2 additional trustees. This is the effect of this, and actually I guess the note was dropped out of the reason for this, was just to create a succession plan in the case of the loss of one of the folks from if we lost one of those trustees. Right now we have a succession plan for our executive officers. If something happens to the president, the vice president takes over. If something happens to the vice president, secretary, or treasurer, then the board is to vote to take nominations and then fill the position. This is really just to create a succession plan should the trustees chair something happen to them. This year we had a resignation, and so we actually took us over a month to fill that position because our bylaws bound us in a way that actually the way we could have filled it was by having a vote of the trustees, but that vote could only take place if the trustees chair called for the meeting. Since we didn't have a trustees chair, we didn't have anybody who could call the meeting. So this is just to really order the 3 trustees that serve on the board to be number 1, number 2, number 3. If something happens to number 1, it's actually the same language that's used for the vice president taking over the president, which is in the event of vacancy, absence, inability, or at request. So it's really just to take those 3 existing trustees and say, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, and if something happens to number 1, 2 can move into that position. If 2's not there, 3 could move into that position. That's all it is. It's creating an order of succession. It doesn't change the makeup of the board at all.
Doreen, did that explain it?
I heard and understood what you said. I do think that there's already a situation in the bylaws that relates to that, so I'm not sure. I still don't understand it, and I don't necessarily have any objection to it. I already had something in place.
Number 1.
Is your vice chairman and your second vice chairperson, are they going to have the same voting rights to the whole thing?
Yes, they already do. No. It doesn't take anything away. All he's saying is if you lose the chairperson, one of them rolls up rather than you have to stop and have a vote.
Okay, thank you.
Number 4.
If I'm reading this correctly and it passes, I think it would have to be considered editorial for also Article 10, Section 8, Paragraph A, annual meeting of the trustees, to change the wording there because it says in the annual meeting they elect a chairperson and 2 additional trustees. So I think 2 additional trustees would have to be changed to vice chair and second vice chair.
That's true. That's true. Editorial. Oh. Okay, it is an editorial, it would have to be changed. Michael? Did you hear that? You get called by the principal. Okay, so there's another section that would have to be changed as well. Article 10, Section 8, Paragraph 8, where you... A. Where you'd have to change the way things are... Yeah. Instead of 2 additional, you'd have to change to vice 1 and vice 2. Okay, or 3, 2 and 3. Okay, hang on, he's adding it. Any other? David?
So do you have one election and the one with the most votes would get the chairmanship and the next person with the most votes? How would that work?
Currently... Oh, hang on. Number 12's got his paddle up. You need to get a paddle. Okay.
So, this is intentionally silent. The trustees make the decision at each meeting how, unless there's a bylaw, standing rule, or procedure in place, they actually determine the method of voting at each meeting, so that they can determine how they want to vote.
Okay.
Key is we're just mandating here that they actually order those 3 representatives on the board so that we have a plan for succession.
You still want to talk, Randy? Okay. Would this be effective immediately if it were voted in? Okay. Number, what do you, 11? Number 11?
Cody KP, sorry. Doreen had alluded to the fact that there was already a mechanism in place for this succession to happen. But is that really true? Right, and I don't either. That's why I was just asking that. Instead of just actually saying that it did.
I think she just meant as far as whenever you have to call a meeting and then you elect a new chair. That was all she was referring to. Number 14.
Amy Griffin, Ilgra. If we institute this line of secession, we would avoid the problem that we face this year of being without a trustee chair for a period of time. This does not increase the number of trustees on the executive board. It just gives 2 of them a different name.
A title. Can you refresh, Frank? And then scroll down and show that it was fixed in the other section as well. Is that what you were? Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? Was that amendment accepted? Yes. Okay. Do we need to vote on the amendment first? No? There wasn't no objection. Okay. All right. No other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Okay, that passes. All right, you want to go back to 3? Oh, 12? Yep. There's a motion to have the last proposal 7 that we just, and it's second, it was motion by Mike, seconded by Randy, to make it go into immediate. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Okay. Now we'll go back to 3. That's not right. That's still not right. Okay. Mike? Michael? Oh, hang on, somebody has to entertain for a motion.
I'll move to accept.
Second by Stephanie. Now, Michael.
All this does, this year and next year, under the current bylaws, your nominations for annual awards must be submitted no later than the third quarter state meeting. Our meeting this year and next year will be early July. So having the third quarter meeting so early in the quarter cuts off a lot of things for the rest of the year. So what we're doing is separating the nomination for awards from the third quarter state meeting and just simply saying 60 days prior to convention, we will complete the voting and the nominations and voting for the annual awards. So it gives you more time to decide on who you're going to nominate for your annual awards.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Okay. Do we want to go back to one as well? That, but we never voted on it because it. Number 9. I'm just reading it myself, sorry. Do I have a motion entertain a motion to accept this? Amy Griffin, seconded by Steve Guidry. Number 12? Are you the proponent? Okay.
This is a housekeeping issue in my view. We had some closure of EPRB actions in the last while, and there was and our rules don't say that. Currently the rule says what you do if I'll use the word defendant in an EPRB, or a target, to defendant maybe the best word, an EPRB. If there is a disciplinary action taken, then we're supposed to inform them within a certain period of time. If no disciplinary action is taken, we don't have any notice, we don't have any record of notice. So if they're found innocent, they're never told they're found innocent. And the folks who, complainant or complainants who bring the issue forward are never told when the process ends. So we had an instance where a process had been ended for almost a year, and someone came back and said, what's going on? What's happening here? There is a distinction in this, and I talked to several people to get their opinion about that notice for the complainant, and whether we should tell the complainant what the actual outcome was if there was a disciplinary action. And the consensus was we don't really need to tell the complainant what the result was, except that the situation is closed and it's over. And I guess they can use Facebook to do their research on what happened.
Okay.
So this is just just a clarification of that when the process ends, we make a formal announcement to the people involved that the process is over.
Okay. Number 13, Laura?
Laura Scott, NGRA. As one of those targets, I actually did receive notice that I was found not guilty, if you will.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstention, passes. Number, oh, sorry, number 8. Thank you. Yeah, I did. So is there a motion? We need a motion to accept this. Oh. Steve Guidry, seconded by Stephanie. Okay, now number 2.
I'm just going through the procedure. I just want, I guess, to clarify, because it says under C, the association is limiting the number of events offered. I didn't think we could cut the events. We testified, right, but not the event.
No, we could not. The limited rodeo was just for number of contestants is what I understood it. I know. I know. Number 14.
Amy Griffin. This is very confusing to me. Currently, our capacity for a quote-unquote limited rodeo is limited to the number of overall contestants, the number of overall contestants in a particular event, but doesn't allow us to offer less than a minimum of 12 events. And Part C is really confusing because if we don't have the capacity to limit the number of events, then how can we have a fine or an application fee? And is that $100 per event per day or for the whole rodeo? I think the top is in conflict with the bottom.
Number 8.
Angela, MGRA, mine's just more of a clerical. I think whether this passes or not, 28AI still says mail. So if that needs to be changed. Notification by mail.
Yeah, that was cleaned up earlier, so they probably used the prior. Yep. Number 17, Chuck.
I think the intent here, if I'm grasping this, is to allow associations to have not a rodeo, sanctioned rodeo, but a limited rodeo with a limited number of events to get them started. I think part of this might be the little IV, 1, 2, 3, 4, should really be under B, which is the current limited rodeo on limiting the number of contestants, where C is really about an opportunity of maybe allowing a new association to have a limited rodeo with 3 events. Barrels, poles, flags. Still would count towards, still would follow the registration policy. Everything would be in that. So I think we're trying to open a door to getting this in here. So this is where they thought would be the best place to go with that. It might need some tooling on it because, I think part of A should go to B, but I'm open-minded to this because we need more contestants. We need more money coming in. And if an association would choose this and start off with just speed events, that's, I think, maybe an option.
Okay, number 5.
Our intent for this is to open more doors for the smaller rodeo associations that can't afford to put on a full rodeo. This would give them an opportunity to hold a limited rodeo, and the application fee of $100 per event is the application fee instead of paying a full application fee for a rodeo. If they hold 4 events, they pay $400
Number 13. Uh, 13. Guy, right here, sorry.
So I appreciate the idea. I just think that it would probably be better to say $100 per event to the maximum of a regular rodeo application fee, because I don't see if somebody wanted to take one event off, that they shouldn't have to pay $1,000 to host a rodeo.
Yep. Okay. Number 4, Ron Trusley.
Thank you for identifying me. Now I don't have to do it. It seems that this is really out of order in a way, because the way it's written, because if the intent is to allow just a special rodeo, there needs to be a section for that, because there's a rule already says you have to offer certain events. And if you're going to have this limited rodeo the way this is written and earn points, you can't do that without changing the other one. And also, since now we have to pay the $700 sanction fee, non-refundable, would this be in addition to the $700 sanction fee? It just doesn't seem that it's ready for any vote the way it's written, because it's conflicting with other rules.
Okay. Number 2, Tim Smith.
So I guess another question that this could affect, or maybe could not affect, that we probably would need to check into would be if this could be covered with insurance, correct? Because that's a different thing than what we're already kind of done, know what our public policy covers now with that. I'm sure we can,
It would just be like a rodeo school, I'm sure. As long as they applied for it as well, yep. Okay, number 11, Jameson. Okay. Back to Amy, number 14.
Amy Griffin. But we already, local associations already have the capacity to hold unsanctioned rodeos offering any of the events, or our events, not our events, any events that they want. And, you know, you can hold your own event and not have to pay any fees. But I think that Part A is fine, but Part C is just problematic and needs quite a bit of work to be something that everybody understands.
Number 5, back to Paul.
We're wanting this in, and like I said, if it doesn't pass, it doesn't pass. But the whole purpose for this is to have an IGRA sanctioned event with a limited number of events. We're not wanting an association to hold another event that is not IGRA sanctioned just to have one. The whole goal is for more money for IGRA, more contestants to get involved, and more contestants for the association, and points for IGRA.
And I think that's understood, but Ron was right. You'd have to clean up another section that does require all the events. I got you. No, I understand. And back to Christy, number 4.
Not that it's not a bad idea, but could it be a possible pathway to just become a sanctioned barrel race association or goat dressing association, if we just have the ability to just do maybe one event then, and have the associations just choose to do one event all the time? You know, if it leads to another way of the rules, it's just a thought.
Number 2. Okay.
What does this do to the points added towards that final and the way money split? If we just had, say, 2 different versus the rest of them?
I assume it would go in the pot just like anything else. they're not changing any of that makeup. They're just asking to have 3 or 4 events versus 13 or 14. Okay. Number 17, Chuck.
Again, I would ask you to open your minds a little bit to think about, is this a door that could bring us additional contestants, additional opportunities for maybe newer associations that don't yet have the resources to do a full-fledged rodeo? Just as currently we have an association that exercises the limited contestant, this is no different. They would submit an application, it would come before for approval, it would list the events, it would still have to have the appropriate officials, it would have everything else, they'd pay the same entry fees, that money would channel through the same channels, it would allow that money to count towards their final standings. And I think if one association took advantage, other associations might say, let's do our regular rodeo, but let's put on a speed event, limited rodeo too. So it's really about growth. It's really about thinking in the future, because we continue to lose rodeos, contestants, and associations.
The 10-minute time is up. I'd have to have a motion to extend to keep going on this. Okay, so we had a confusion and a call to vote. There's not. I'll call the vote. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Nay. We're going to stand. We're going to do a count. Okay. So if you're in favor of this, please stand up. Wait. Okay. Okay. So if you're in favor, stand up. Okay. Who's? I don't know. What are, I know, he needs to do. Did you just now stand up? Okay. Okay, please remain standing and be still for a second.
Maybe they can hold it. Maybe they can hold it. Shorter people behind taller people, hold your hand up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You can sit down. Opposed? What'd you get? Oh, somebody else stood up after me. Jesus Christ, they need to be still. Okay, be still. All right, so. Oh, I didn't get these 3. That's what it was. these ones up here. No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah. It was 37 in favor, 36 opposed, so it fails. Okay. You have the board too. Okay, the next proposal. It failed. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take a 10-minute break because there's food out there, break food, and they're about to take it away. Sorry. Okay. Everybody back in? Okay, so my wife was so gracious to give up the other cup. All right, so we're going to auction this one off, and it's also going to go to CGRA, the funds. So so far they got $731 in their pot, so I think we can simple math figure out what we need to get to $1,000. Just saying. So what's the $25 opening? $50. $75. $100. We're at $100 for the other beautiful cup. $125. Anyone else? $125. Got one more cup. $150. $150. Do I hear $175? Anyone? $150. $165. He's been to a cow auction. $165. Do I hear $175? Yeah. Come on. Remember, it's going to CGRA that's hosting this great event right now. Anyone? 165 going once. 165 going twice. 165 sold. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So $104? $104, Roger. Woo. There we go, CGRA. Know what? I have no idea what that's going to cost me getting that away from her. Yep. Okay, so did I skip another coat? What did you say? Oh. You know, Boogie, it will include you on many things. Okay, what did we did 7, we did 9, right? We did, so are we at 10? 10. Okay. Do I entertain a motion to approve. I asked him and the Michael, he never brought it back. Yeah, guess it's gone. Do I have a motion, entertain? Okay. Do I have a second? Okay. Steve Guidry? Any discussion? Number 17?
This is a question addressed to AJRA if they believe that this has any impact to their rodeo, just out of consideration.
It does not, because we're not doing a limited rodeo.
Thank you. Woo! Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Perfect. Thank you. Passes. Okay, so it wasn't, we did come back with 3. It was 1 that we were talking about originally. Okay, and they didn't bring it back. It was 1 that. They've moved it to next year. Okay. Oh, sorry.
You might have been just talking about what I was going to ask for clarification.
Mhm.
The 2 that were up before, are they coming back? The dead
we
hot days about,
he said no, he would just save it for next year, that number 1.
okay. Well, there were 2 of them.
Well, we did come back with 3 a while ago, and it did get approved. It was just on the, yeah. Yep.
Was the bylaws, standing
Yes,
rules,
that
rodeo
was number
rules,
1.
those- but
That
there
was,
were 2 different ones, weren't they?
nope, just 1. It was that one, number 1 right there. I'll show you if he brings it back up.
So it's not coming back?
It's not coming back. That was the one right there. See it? That's the one he's going to save for next year. Okay? All right, and I think they're finishing 2 more that were in the wrong folder. They're finishing 2 more that were in the wrong folder. Oh, no? Okay. Oh, gotcha. So it'll be 11. Okay, thank you. No, we just did 1. They're just finishing the last one. Need a refresh or what? Okay, hang on. They're a few moments away. Can we do that before we close? Let's just go ahead and start with announcements then, since we're winding down. CGRA? We need Malon? I need the Malon.
Thanks, Madam President. First off, we'd like to invite everybody back to Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo that we held July 10th through 12th. And we also submitted an application at the rodeo school on Friday, July 10th as well. I'd like to congratulate Scary, I'd like to congratulate you and the elected officers. Thank you for all that you've done, for stepping up, and we look forward to a couple of years with you. And then Michael Norman, congratulations on your position as well. We'd like to thank the executive board and for everything you've done and all the leadership and innovation you provided this year, especially with the new road system, and that's been a lot. So we appreciate that, and the entire team that's worked on that. And lastly, we would like to thank the entire next board for giving CGR the opportunity to host you this year. We've had a good time, and thank you for allowing us that privilege.
Thank you. TGRA, Randy Edlin.
The Texas State Rodeo Association would like to thank the Colorado State Rodeo Association for putting on a fantastic convention this week and hosting it. Congratulations to all the board up here for the elections and stuff like that. We'd also like to invite you to a rodeo April 17th to 19th for the Texas Regional Rodeo.
You just hand it to Steve.
And we would like to invite people to come down to Palm Springs for the hot rodeo in May, and also the day
RJ?
We'd like to thank CGRA for an awesome convention. This was really great. You kept us really full with a lot of food. And then also it was nice that the weather cleared up a little bit here for us. We also want to invite you to our rodeo on February 14th through the 16th. And then also congratulate everybody that was inducted into the Hall of Fame and everybody that is taking on their new responsibilities. And then Rocket.
Just a little bit about our rodeo that RJ mentioned for February 14th, 16th. We will be doing rodeo school on Friday, roping up foot, shoot dogging, steer riding, belt dressing, and steer decorating. And then, as I said, we're not doing a limited rodeo anymore. That's out.
Okay.
But Charlie Speeney has added $6,400 to added prize money for the rough stock riding. AGRA and Charlie Speeney's husband are adding $5,000 added purse to breakaway barrels, hose flags, and team roping.
Wow. Thank you, Ron. That's great.
One last thing, tickets are available now on our website, ajra-phx.com.
Great. Now we're going to go back. Malon, GPRA.
Paul with GPRA. We want to thank CGRA for a great event that they put on and welcoming us back. Candy, thank you for the hard work you've done to help us get back to where we are, and the board as well. Also, we want to welcome everybody to come back to our rodeo after 4 years on Memorial Day weekend. We will be having a BBR and NBHA approved barrel race with 2,500 added, and it is a 5D. Thank you very much.
Great. MGRA.
Thank you. NMGRA echoes the congratulations to the new Hall of Fame members, and to the thank you to CGRA for putting on such a great convention this year. We will be having our rodeo in New Mexico in 2019, and what's that? Thank you, 2020. And we would love to see you all out at the rodeo. Thank you.
Great. Just we'll pass it on down to Kenneth.
MGRA would like to thank CGRA for hosting the convention today, for this weekend, excuse me. Great job. Also, we want to let everyone know we are back. New location, new date, Sedalia, Missouri. The date is May 30th and 31st, the weekend after Oklahoma's. So you can make it all. Great weekend, 2 weekends in the Midwest.
Yeah. Gene, North Star.
North Star Gay Rodeo Association would like to thank also CGRA for a great convention. We are back. It's our year for a rodeo. It's July 24th, 5th, and 6th, and we're still at Hugo, Minnesota, the arena with great ground. We will have, right now, we have a $750 added money in our horse events, thanks to the sponsorship from GSGRA Bay Area chapter.
Next is Diamond State.
Sandy's gonna let me talk. We want to thank. We want to thank CGRA for hosting the convention. It really has been good. We don't know how many pounds we've gained amongst all of us, but it was well worth it. Thank you. Just to let y'all know, we've got some new changes coming to our Diamond State Rodeo Board of Directors. Our election will end December 15th, and we'll let you know what happens. Thank you. On December
Lisa?
Yo.
Lisa,
Yo.
right up here.
Yes.
I'm feeling really lucky today.
But the drawing's on the 5th, on the 7th.
Dadgummit.
Okay. This year we had our rodeo, and as you know, we have ours every other year. We're the odd ones. And we want to announce that we gave out $17,000 this year to charity.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Hall of Famers, and I think that's all we have. Be safe.
Asgra, Mike Lentz.
Thanks to Colorado for hosting a great convention, for all your hard work. Thanks to our officers and committee chairs for your work too. We couldn't have a successful convention without all of you. And thank you for the delegates, Owen and ASGRA's, we're a small association now. We've had life as a big association, and we're living in a small one, and we're pretty happy with that at the moment. We do still host a first Sunday of every month trail ride. It's been going on now for 28 years consecutively, and that's a lot of trail rides, a lot of miles, a lot of horses. We appreciate our hosting the convention, and we look forward to participating with IGRA and the upcoming 2020 year. Best of luck to everybody this year.
Thank you. Jeffrey?
NGRA, we'd like to thank Colorado. What a great weekend. Who knew we could hit 4 different temperature zones in 1 day? We want to invite you all to our royalty competition, which is coming up next Saturday in Las Vegas. If you have nothing better to do and you need to work off those turkey doldrums, come on up to Vegas and enjoy our competition. It will be 8 p.m. at Flex Bar in Vegas. If you happen to be in Vegas anytime, any month, the 3rd Friday of the month, we hold a bingo session at Quad Saloon. Rumor has it that our gaming license is going to be renewed, so in 2020 we'll be doing the same thing, but we're definitely playing bingo every 3rd Friday. And then on 2nd Saturdays we're at Flex. So if you are in Vegas during the year, please come visit with us. And definitely come visit us at Big One Rodeo, September 18th through 20th. We will be having a rodeo school. We will be having a lot of good time. And thank you to all of your support this year. We are giving away $12,000 to our charities this coming Saturday at our rodeo. Thank you.
Amy?
Just want to echo all the other positive sentiments towards CGRA. You guys did a magnificent job, and somehow now doesn't feel like it's been 5 years since the last time we had a convention here. So thank you all for all your hard work.
Thank you. Sammy, Red River?
To the Colorado Association, just like everyone else, thank you so much. You guys put on just a great convention. Jack, I know you put a lot of time into it. To thinking outside the box, having the archives here. I've been around that thing. That was the 3rd time. It's the first time I've actually got to walk through it. So it was kind of nice. It's where we actually had time when we're not running around doing rodeos or something else. David, I know you had a piece of that, and Tommy. Brian, I know that you helped on that also, and James, I know you helped with it, so thank all you guys. Thanks to all the committees and the cooperation that you did, getting a lot of work done. This is kind of our new year. This is where we start. So if we can all look at ourselves and look outside of ourselves and try to be cooperative with one another and be positive towards each other, be encouraging. Let's go have a great year. It started great here, continue it on.
Utah.
We'd like to thank CGRA for their hospitality. Congratulations to the new board members and the Hall of Famers. And we also want to thank everybody for welcoming us back like they have over the last few years. The people who've come with me this weekend have enjoyed it a lot. Look forward to seeing you all out on the circuit. And if you make it to Utah, let us know, and we'll try and show you a good time.
Chuck?
CRGRA would like to thank CGRA for hosting the convention and your hospitality. We extend our congratulations to the new Hall of Fame inductees, as well as our Secretary Michael and our Vice President Michael Butts, aka MIPSI. Many IGRA members assisted us in our inaugural year by joining CRGRA, and we thank you for that support, and just let you know renewals are being accepted at a $5 discount for 20 US. We extend our warm Canadian invitation to everyone to come up to the Great White North for our second Canadian Rockies Rodeo North, July 31st through August 2nd. We will again be on the Calgary Stampede grounds in the Nutrient Center, which is a world-class indoor facility with excellent horse stalls that are within 200 feet to the arena with excellent ground conditions. All rodeo-related events are on site. Campsites are available. We will be conducting a rodeo school. We are doing added prize money again this year, so please be sure to check our website for updates. And remember, a US dollar right now is worth $1.31 in Canada, so you get more bang for your buck. We are using the same host hotel, and if anybody was there, it was 5-star by all means. You can take a shuttle to the hotel for $15, $10 US from the airport. You can take the train from the hotel to the arena in 7 minutes, so a rental car is not recommended. We are working with the host hotel to potentially provide free passes for all to try to reduce that expense. And lastly, to those new conventioners that are here with us this weekend, we thank you for participating. We thank you for stepping out there, and we want you to come back because we need your input.
Thank you. Perfect. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll need I entertain a motion. Okay. David, seconded by Jeffrey Neal. Yep, I'm gonna, Benjamin's going to explain. Yep.
Frank, maybe start at the top. So correct me if I get this miss anything here. So there's sections C and D. So Paul's right there with C. Section C and D are in play here. Section C has the verbiage you see here. Don't scroll yet, Frank. Section D has a payout chart. The intent here, I believe, is to move this last line. We're removing the last line where it says for finals rodeo. So that is being moved to a new part of Section D. So Section C is just taking out the payoff about the finals rodeo. This part right here, this is the old, or the existing Section D. Existing Section D has that line plus all those percentages in the chart. So the easiest way to do this was to present the entire current Section D as to be removed. Then scrolling down, the new Section D has 2 charts. The first chart here is the first 6 rows and columns of the current existing chart. Is that correct, David? All right. So up to 6 places when there's more teams, 7 or more. And then if there's 6 or less, it's this section right here. Did I explain that correctly, David? All right, so that's what you're seeing here. I figured that would be a little bit easier for you all to get your heads around piece by piece. Any questions on what that looks like just for me or for the Rodeo Rules Chairman? All right.
Any discussion? Number 4. Where's the microphones? Sorry, James. Number 4.
Alexander Sadis, AGRA. So the existing charts that are there are
the charts that are the payout percentages for all events at any rodeo, at least in the way that the text is written. It's not shown here, but Part C in that Part 1 says that the way that the payout works should be done by these charts. And then this Part C says the choice of 4, 6, or 8 places that you're going to pay out to is based on the number of entries. And then also adds this caveat that says, specifically for finals, don't pay out to 8, don't pay 4, just do 6, period, that's it. So this change as written doesn't say how to do those percentages anymore for 7 or 8. For any event at all, is what I mean.
Number 11.
This rule only applies to finals rodeo, and in the book already, it used to say for finals rodeo, the entry fees and IGRA escrow account shall be paid back to 6 places. So only in regular rodeos do we pay out to 8 places, for finals rodeo, we already only pay 6.
Okay, number 4 again.
Not to be super contradictory, but it doesn't. This part here, or the part with the charts, is actually not part of, I'm sorry, I don't know how to put that better. The specific line that says for finals rodeos, the entry fees must be paid out to 6 places is the existing rule. And it's part of that rule that says how many places you pay out in general for rodeos. And it's saying, as an exception to general rodeos, you're going to pay out 6 places for finals always. So if you change this rule the way that you're changing it, you're getting rid of the existing charts for any other event.
Frank, can you scroll back to the top, please? Okay, wait. Okay. Okay. All right, so Benjamin agrees with you, Alexander, so hang on. Okay, so we don't need to remove that chart for...
Well, so, yeah, I think I see what you're saying, because the 2 charts now only have 6 places, and the whole 8-place chart is completely not existent in this proposal. So the simplest way, which will now have us 3 charts, will be to put a chart, the original chart, back into C. Does that sound like it would work, everybody? This is why your committees work throughout the year, because it's stuff like this that we can clean up before we present to you, and on Friday. So let me see if I can make that happen. Talk amongst yourselves.
Joe.
Oh, no.
Tell the one you heard this morning.
No. or I'm going to make the person that told it tell it. Yeah. That's true. That's true. It actually wasn't him. Someone else. Okay, well, while he's going to do that, I'm going to say a few words then. I want to thank CGRA and Jack and his committee for a fantastic convention. I think this convention was well run. All conventions are well run. I think what added to this convention was the Hall of Fame reception, both honoring the old recipients and the new, and allowing everybody to take time and mingle and talk and look at the archives exhibit. You know, now I think of myself as an archive. Yep. Did anybody notice besides me that every time I read one of those bios or one of the bios that, you know, we're all baby boomers? Yeah. Yep. Our parents were busy in the 60s. Anyway, I really enjoyed the Hall of Fame reception last night. I got to speak to some people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and even It was great to see John King, Casey, some of the recipients that we don't always get to see, so I had a really good time there. Congratulations to all the new recipients, some in the room, some that couldn't make it today or had to be somewhere. Anyway, I think that's fantastic. We're moving forward with, each year adding recipients. Please make sure that if you have someone in mind that you fill out the form. It's very simple, and send it to Amy. That way, before March, Amy, March what? March 30th, 31st? March 1st. Okay, sorry. Make sure you send that form in so that that deserving individual will be considered. Congratulations to the 2020 royalty team. Looking forward. Okay. Okay. Yep. Anyway, congratulations to the 2020 royalty team. Look forward to working with them and seeing them at the rodeos this year. Congratulations to the newly elected officers. Duties as assigned.
I know.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you to all the member associations and all the delegates that took time to participate this year. We had a increase in participation, and I think that's wonderful. I really do. And I'm glad that everybody took the time to come here and be a part of it. As always, thank you, Cowboy Frank, for keeping us online and taking care of all of the electronic part of our convention. To the Archive Committee, as always, thank you for bringing all those Hall of Fame exhibits last night and people stealing young pictures of me and making fun. And since we're not ending, but I do want to follow what Sam said about positivity. It drives some people crazy that stay with me, but I'm like the ever-ready bunny in the morning. And I thank God every morning I get up, and I'm very positive. So some of you have seen me down some, but I try my best to always be as positive as I can. And for y'all, I will continue that way. I thank you for putting your faith in me. And so many of you this weekend stopped to tell me how much you appreciated me, and that means a lot. So thank you for that. And I'll see if Benjamin is... Nope. And if I'd known I needed one more joke, and then usually at this time Nugget saves me. Oh, I know. Yes, Stephanie? Yep. Lori Casados is the one that had those made.
Lori Casados is my new rodeo events chair, and she is the one that had those made. So the cups. So if you're interested, I can definitely get you guys in touch with her to have some made for your own association.
Cool. Whoa. Whoa. Almost there. Go ahead. Who's got? Come on, Nugget. Oh, whoa. Oh, what? Come on.
goes to Mike. Gonna give it to Mike.
Okay, go ahead and let him have his joke. Better be a good one.
I hope it's a good one. So, downtown Manhattan, along Fifth Avenue, these two gay boys were walking down the street, and coming up towards them with this beautiful woman. I'm talking about perfect hair, perfect makeup, clothes, just everything's perfect shape and everything. The one gay boy turns to the other one and says, "Damn, it's time like this I wish I was a lesbian."
Okay, why did the police arrest the turkey? They suspected foul play. I know, he did. He sent me the joke and then busted it.
I think I'm ready to save y'all from candy.
Ooh, some of these are mean, Nugget. What do you call a rodeo bull with a sense of humor? Laughing stock. It wasn't that bad. Okay, now we're back.
All right, let me walk through this with you all. The brain gets a little fried by this time of convention. So starting at the top, for letter C, paragraph C, again, removing that for finals rodeo. So basically C and D, as you see here, will be exactly the same with the exception of finals rodeo. And I put a new paragraph E that says the same verbiage from before. For finals rodeo, they shall be paid to 6 places as follows. I guess I'll start with David. That looks good. And please, anybody, put your eyes on it if there's any other conflict like before. That was helpful.
Number 4.
I'm just a little, Mark Boyd, HRA. Just curious how on the third chart, the totals don't add up to 100%. So are we saying if there's less than 6 competitors, first place only gets 30% of the money? And then where does the other money go if we're not paying out 100%?
And if I can request a pause on, to come right back to that. As far as formatting, that's my main question right now. Merits of what happens with percentages, I'm going to leave that to Candy to debate, to lead the debate. Does this formatting look like what the proposal is trying to achieve? Any places you can see it's not right? All right, thanks.
Okay, number 4 again.
Alexander Sadis, AGRA. Just a minor point on formatting. I know that Part B references the chart, so you need to kind of just change that slightly to not do that, and it's not included in the original proposal.
I don't think I understood.
I'm saying that Part B references the chart.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now you can discuss the merit clause.
Did you want to explain? James, look.
So first of all, I apologize because I didn't have this in new business when it was supposed to be in new business. I had it in rodeo rules again, so that was my bad. Sorry. To answer your question about the percentages, if there are 6 or fewer, just keep in mind that this was our compromise to keeping all of our event money specific to that. So we were trying to show that somebody who's not competing against anyone, there's only one person in an event, they would get the 30% of the money, and the leftover money would remain in escrow for the following year.
Is that placing or competing? Competing. Okay. Any discussion? Number 4.
Okay, so if we decide that we are going to go down that way, that if there's less than 6 contestants, let's say there's only one person, you only get 30% of the money, and the rest is going to be held in escrow, I would make a suggestion that we just add that line that the rest is to remain in escrow for next year, so there's no confusion, just so it's clear that that's what's happening, if we choose to go in that direction.
So you don't want it in the current year pot to be divided, you want it moved to the next year? Well, you understand, because if there's only, it should be like it just stay in the finals pot. Ask David, which is, so. Got it. Number 13.
Roger Bergman, NGRA. Before I get too focused on percentage payouts, I'm not sure how much money is actually going in. Is this staying the same way as it currently is? Or is it being, yesterday they were talking about different way of the money going to finals. Is it still going and being evenly divided between all of the events?
Yes, that did not change.
Okay, thank you.
Number 12, Mike Lentz.
I would move to amend this so that the unawarded money went into the all-around payout for finals rodeo. That's to get the money off the books and clean out the fund for the year.
Number 4.
So I guess one of my concerns about this is, I feel like if there's less than 6 entries, then we're punishing the contestants that are there, and I don't think that's going to really help increase participation in events where it's like, hey, we're trying to build up this event, but there's less than 6 contestants, so you're not going to get 100% of the prize money. That's just less encouragement to participate in an event that already has a low rate. I feel like we're really just, and then especially if we add it to all around or something else, we're saying we're going to take money away from your event because it's not as popular and put the money towards a more popular event or something that will help. It just, personally, last thing I'll say on it, doesn't feel right to me.
In case no one sees, Mr. Browning is now serving on aisle 1. Number 3.
So to answer to what you were saying, you got to keep in mind that in the events that we currently have, when we only have 1, 2, or 3 people, they haven't put as much money into the pot. So that's why we're trying to come up with something that they don't get as much back out.
Number 13.
This is Brenda with NGRA. This was meant for your event to bring your friends. If you don't have 6 in your event, bring a friend. Make it so they pay it out. Let's get more contestants. Get more of them in your event.
Any further discussion? Okay, hang on. Refresh, please. and then scroll to the top. Christopher?
So I've added, I've added in the A and B sections that was referred to, the B was referred to previously. The reference in B that's underlined now, 1D and 1E, which should be small letters D and E. Just simply remove that reference completely and just says the formula's below. I think that clarifies. Does that help? Okay, thanks.
I have a question for Christopher really fast. So will RMS, would you just have to change the formulas for payout on, because it's going to change per event? Do you understand? Okay. You can. Okay. All right, let's go back to number. Okay. All right, number 12.
I just need a point of clarification. It may be late in the day and I am old, but it looks like you still have the chart being deleted entirely that govern all the numbers are underlined. Is that intentional? I think these were underlined from the ununderlined. Yeah, okay. All right, thanks.
Number, refresh, please. Number 4.
I'd like to call for a caucus.
Okay, a caucus has been called, so 10 minutes. Let's go 4:11. Okay, caucus is over. Nope. Why don't cows have money? Because farmers milk them dry. Okay, while they're finishing the discussion, Janet's got an announcement for you.
As you know, as a contestant liaison around this year, that we asked for donations for the Best Dirt program. Okay, so since we had some not getting collected everywhere, we had drawn every rodeo this year. We had a drawing back here by our royalty to award the money. We had $1,500. We dispersed it down, $750, $500, and $250. And our winning rodeo this year is Nevada for $750. $500 is going to Canada. And World Gay Finals got it for 3rd place. So the money is set up with David in IGRA, and he will disperse it to you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, so make sure you read that verbiage correctly on their added money. Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. It passes. Huh? Okay, so I think that's all the proposals. Did I miss any other new business? Nope. Do I have a motion to adjourn? I think I'm going to let Buck do that. I'll take Boogie's second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. That's good. Safe travels home, everyone. I'll see you on the road. Okay. The meeting room's in 9:05 for the board meeting in 15 minutes. Did they?